Fellas, say goodbye to Chuck Sherman the boy. I am now a man. I highly recommend you join the club. We are doing the wild thing all night.
Acid house music.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sherm.
Sherman, I cook all this food. Is that all you gonna eat?
General Sherman realized and understood the importance of house music.
So, do you know anything about techno?
No.
Listen.
Get it on! Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Sherm in the Booth. I'm, of course, your host, Sherm, and today is Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. Hope everybody's having a great year so far. We are plugging right along. This is a very, very special episode, guys. I'm so excited about it. You might recognize his name because I had him back on the show in July 2019. Needless to say, a lot has happened for him. I'm so excited to welcome my man, James Fisher, aka Align, back on the show. Like I said, James was on back in July of 2019. So much has happened for him, his brand, his music, and I wanted to get him back on to see what he's been up to and what he's got cooking for the future. In episode 148, we discussed James' 2020 thoughts. Align was on his way to have one of the biggest years ever. 2020 was going to have a tour, his first solo headline show, and so much more. Fortunately, he never lost his spirit and continued to produce and push the envelope to grow his brand. Now, when I had him on the show in 2019, we already had a ton of music to talk about that he had already released. This time around, we had even more to talk about, and Align has been on a release terror. We ran through all of his tracks since he had him on the show, including tracks like Second Thoughts with Becca Kruger, Reflections with Jenni Potts, It Goes in Waves with Inzo Blookah, and so much more. We went deep and discussed where he was at creatively and inspirationally when he was making some of these songs. I love talking to Align about his music making process. This is someone that's always trying to get better and better and learn more about the ins and outs of music production. Also had a great conversation with James on new music and his future plans. I was lucky enough to hear some of his unreleased music before our interview. ... He's leveling up, y'all, and it's some of his best music yet. James has an extremely optimistic outlook on the current state of the industry and is hopeful he can play some shows for us all very soon. You know I'm gonna be front row, my man. With millions of streams to his name and an ever-growing following of dedicated fans, there's no doubt that the future is very bright for Align. He also just released a new track today called On the Edge. Ladies and gentlemen, he snapped. Once again, no surprises. Go check this one out. Thanks for coming on, my friend. I always have so much fun chatting with you. Guys, let's get into this interview right now so you can hear our conversation for yourself. This is episode 148 with Align. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited because I have my dear friend on the show again, James Fisher, aka Align. James, I gotta tell you before you even say anything, I listened to our interview again today. The last time you were on came out on July 23rd, 2019.
Yeah.
That wasn't that long ago.
No.
And I feel like I've known you for so much longer.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It feels like a long time ago, though.
It does feel like a long time ago. And you know what? When I listened to it today, and I listened to the questions I asked, how you answered them, and just like hearing us get along was so funny for me because
it was day one.
Since then we've hung out so much. We've shared the stage together.
Yeah.
Like, you've grown so much as an artist. Obviously, we're here in probably double the setup than we were last time around my kitchen table.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's exciting, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. It was cool to see the growth on both sides.
Dude, absolutely. It's been so much fun. I know you're a Chicago guy. Let me ask you this, too. Am I a Chicago guy yet? Because I've lived here for 6 years, and I heard 6 years is like, you can say you're a Chicago guy?
You're a Chicago guy. You were a Chicago guy even when you admitted that you were an Indiana guy. So you're a Chicago guy.
I appreciate that. I'm really trying to earn my stripes here.
I mean, dude, you live in the city. You're a Chicago guy.
That's it. That's all it takes?
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
Indiana, Midwest, you're super close anyway. So
that's true.
Consider that
just a stone's throw away.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it, man. But it really is exciting to have you back on. We have so much to catch up on since you've last been on the show.
Yeah.
I wanted to start up by asking you, obviously we're here in 2021 now. Thank God it's February. January is already traditionally the worst month of the year.
Yeah.
But 2020 was something else. How was it for you, man?
Honestly, well, for both of us, 2020 started out pretty nicely.
Really, really nicely.
The first show I got in Chicago was at Aragon.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, I take that back. The first show I got was with you at Concord.
Oh, right before
Aragon, and right before everything
Gorgon
went
City.
down. Yeah, so we had Gorgon City.
Oh man, that was a great show.
Yeah, it was a great show. We had Gorgon City at Concord, like very end of December, and then we had about a month later, maybe a little bit less, I played at Aragon, which was a huge bucket list goal for me. I think just like anyone DJing or making music has Aragon on their list. That was like the first venue
absolutely
that I had seen like a big show in Chicago.
Yeah.
And
it's the biggest venue in Chicago.
Yeah.
Music venue.
Yeah, aside from the Uptown Theater, which is not in...
is that closed though?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're trying to renovate it. But
Aragon's
started 2020 nicely. Played Gorgon City at Concord with you. Month later, played Aragon. Flew out to Arizona to play a show.
Yeah.
Was booked to fly out to Salt Lake City to play a show. Mid-March. Had a couple other good things going that we had been gunning for a while. Headline show was booked,
already announced.
Was booked and announced for May.
Yeah.
And then hit the news that everybody else hit with the coronavirus. But honestly, with as odd as 2020 was, I felt like I really enjoyed it for how much downtime we got. And I always wanted a little bit more time to work on music, and I felt like we've been talking about this too, like having a job also on top
your
of
day job,
music.
man.
And and then anytime you have a show, you're prepping for a show and things like that. I felt like I was really able to spend a lot of time working on music and actually getting music started and finished and wrapped up and packaged.
You released a lot in 2020.
Yeah, a decent amount. Definitely not as much as I think I wanted to, but during 2020 I wrote a lot, which will start, coming out now, and I have even more that I've like started that's getting ready to get going. So I feel like I really got time to just sit down and work on stuff, which is something that I've been like hoping to do for a long time, and just like trying to cut out time to actually work on music.
I love that mindset.
It was shitty. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Certain parts of 2020, but I think there were nice parts of it with all that downtime and actually being able to produce and just focus on stuff like that. So.
Well, like I said, I listened to our interview again today, and you started as a producer first.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you kind of had that nostalgic feeling, knowing that I'm making music, there's no shows, I'm just trying to enjoy this process? Did you feel like you got back to the basics a little bit in the studio?
Yeah, maybe, excuse me, maybe a little bit of that feeling that I had at the beginning when there was like, I didn't even have a show to get potentially booked on.
Exactly.
You would just you would look at flyers and stuff and be like, damn it, that would be cool. Like, I wish I could play on it. But now I look on a flyer and it's like, I'm talking to my manager, I'm like, yo, they don't have openers, so we gotta hop on. Like, there's stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like this definitely, I would say this was like a little bit back to the basics of like, I just have some time to it's like clearing your schedule of something that you don't even have to worry about anymore.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Having a little bit of that was, I think, necessary, and a little bit of a pause was kind of nice in a lot of ways.
That's good. So. And can we give a shout out to the lovely Kira as well, a new lady in your life? Hello, Kira.
Hello, Kira.
I don't know if I'm embarrassing James or you more right now.
Probably her at this point, yeah.
But
she's going to watch this and be embarrassed by it.
That's okay. She better watch this. Yeah. She better support her boyfriend.
She will, yeah. She will. Hi, Kira.
Well, I can honestly say, man, you're in a really good place just from a friend's perspective. You know what I mean? Like, seeing you still be productive and release music, and I know you're focused on your day job as well.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
I think you're going to come out of this on top.
Thank you.
I think it's important to also understand that there's two sides to every story, right? I know there's a lot of artists out there that have struggled a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
For a lot of firsthand stories, and seeing people kind of close up shop too.
Yeah, which is sad.
Seeing multiple Instagram posts of different artists saying they're done now.
Yeah.
They might try a new project, but they're stopping for now, and that wouldn't have happened had 2020 not gone down the road that it went down. But I think it's just everyone has their reasons for doing things like that. But for me, I felt like it was a particular opportunity that I realized I might not get. And at least at the beginning of 2020, when this all was happening in March, there was no like it kept being like a moving target of it might be done in 3 weeks. It might be done in 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
So then I was like,
I didn't think we'd be here.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going to happen, but at the beginning I felt like there was times when this might just be like poof gone in like a month. So I was like looking at that as like I got to write music cuz this is like, you know, the bar's going to open up, the clubs are going to open up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be either playing a show or like going out with my friends to drink,
enjoying life.
And those are all the things that get in the way of like actually being productive and creative.
Always.
I think, at least for me.
Yeah.
So
me too.
I think it was shitty for a lot of people, and it was definitely shitty in certain ways for me too.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was an opportunity to kind of jump on too, just get stuff ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of what I meant by like it's inspiring seeing someone like you who has had so many awesome shows and was, like you said, I mean, damn near going on a tour, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? You had a lot of big things lined up. Yeah. Really building your name up here, and it's so hard in our business that unfortunately, I don't even know if unfortunately is the right word. It's an entertainment business we're in, right? Like the music industry is an entertainment industry. Yeah. And a large majority of the revenue that is built is on shows. Yeah. So sometimes the music gets lost in that, unfortunately.
For sure.
When so much of this is the door-to-door sale, the
100%.
Branding, the logo, the content, the music, of course, too. Yeah. Everything. And now it's just the music.
Yeah, I was gonna say certain things get lost when there's like a big production involved, or like people in certain slots for certain reasons. You know, they can pull a lot of tickets, or they can really throw down.
Or they've known the promoter for 20 years.
Or that, yeah. There's plenty of that everywhere.
There's lots of different reasons, people. Yeah.
But finally getting back to like you were saying earlier, kind of like the basics has been. I have felt like pretty refreshing. And there was, I will say, at the beginning, like in March, I had a lot of things on my list that I wanted to do. Yeah. And like I wanted to knock out a couple remixes. I had some original music I wanted to work on. I had a lot of different ideas that I wanted to try. Yeah. That I just had never gotten around to. Like I wanted to use less samples and like use more of my own. I wanted to play guitar in my own tracks and stuff like that. And then I finally got a chance, like, all right, I'm gonna fucking buy a guitar and like, record it and actually do this.
That's awesome.
Just, like, thinking about it, like little things like that. I just think like it did give a lot of like space to do things like that. But yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've missed going to shows.
Yeah, of course.
I miss like seeing my friends and stuff too. But, there were definitely some positives out of it.
Yeah, for sure. I think we kind of have to take that mindset to a certain extent.
I mean, at this point, for sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. But
otherwise, drive yourself nuts.
Yeah, definitely. So, July 23rd, 2019 is when we last had you on. Episode 68, dude. Yeah. This is episode, I think, 148.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes when I say the number out loud, I like shock myself a little bit.
Yeah, over double.
Fucking churning episodes out, bro. But I'm having a great time doing it.
Yeah.
Having talented people like you on is what it's all about for me. But I went through all your music since you've been on the show. Yeah. And God, I love your fucking music, dude. And I'm not just saying that to toot your horn. I'm not just saying that to boost the stats. Like and comment and subscribe.
Yeah.
But
everyone hit the button.
Everyone hit that, smash that subscribe button. I am supposed to say that to get YouTube to actually get involved in the algorithm, but that's another time.
It's all right.
So when I had you on, you had just released your Intertwine EP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right before our interview, and you rounded out the year with the summer edit of I'll Get There. Mm-hmm. And if you remember, you're about to play North Coast too.
Yeah. I was about to play North Coast.
That was a special time for you, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of got you like right. Like you were doing really well, getting awesome shows, had a lot of success, Concord, the Mid, all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. But like right after you popped.
That was definitely like a special. I love that summer of 2019 was like a fun summer for music.
You were crushing it.
Yeah, I put out Intertwine, that whole EP.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And then right before or right after that interview, I think I remember I couldn't announce something. I don't remember if it was something about North Coast or
It was
or it was the Concord
This
show.
is how I knew we were going to be friends, because
Well,
we kept making this stupid-ass joke about not being able to reveal your set time at North Coast.
Oh,
but you
yeah,
said
that's
it
what
was
it
in
was.
the early afternoon,
Yeah, it was
after
like
2 but before 5.
3 o'clock or something like that. Yeah. You know what? I think I remember there being something in the contract of like you can't
Yeah.
you can't like let your set time
Yep.
come out beforehand.
Yep, it's so true.
Which I don't know why. Like then all my friends, and then you have to individually text all of your friends, or everyone. You have to respond to every text of what time are you on.
Oh, don't you hate that?
It can't be posted anywhere because I
What
want.
time are you on? What time are you
yeah,
on? What time are you on?
And I don't want to like ignore anyone because they're being very nice and
They're
coming
coming to the
support
show.
me.
Yeah.
But then it's like a bunch of people that I'm trying to make sure I like 3:15, 3:15, 3:15. Like I hate that, but like you can't be like, hey everybody. I did like I think put some stories up at some point, but
Yeah.
anyway, long story short, I was booked for North Coast. I was I think I had just played or was about to play with Autograph and Blau
Yep.
at Concord.
Good memory.
So that was a solid show. I had North Coast like a few weeks after that, and then North Coast weekend I played North Coast main stage on day 1, and then day 2 after show with Gorgon City at House of Blues.
House of
which was
Blues, people.
Sick.
One of the most legendary
of Blues.
venues in Chicago.
Walked by it on my way here.
You were told me about that
think
show,
that-
how sick it was, like the artist experience there. Like Concord is obviously special because like
Yeah, Concord's great.
everything about it. But you
Love
said
Concord.
House of Blues was like a rock and roll feel, like you hadn't experienced before.
Yeah, I something about House of Blues, like just that name being like you can tell any of your parents' friends like House of Blues, and it like rings a bell.
That is so true.
And like if you say like the Concord or like
Even Aragon.
Chop Shop, Aragon.
they
even
wouldn't- they might
sometimes.
not know.
And Concord is honestly probably one of my favorite places to play in the city.
It is my
But like if I
favorite
tell like my mom's friends about it or something like that, hypothetically,
Like,
they'd be
oh,
like,
James, very nice.
Okay, cool. Like they don't know if that's like some guy's basement or if it's like a 1,500 person venue. And like for me, it's so cool because it's a good mid-sized venue.
Yeah.
I love Concord, but something about House of Blues was just like the name recognition of it.
Gorgon City.
Yeah, Gorgon City. It was
The
like
stage,
it's tall.
dude.
It's like 3 stories up. So
That
you're,
crowd
like,
was
looking
packed,
up
too.
and- yeah, it was like sold out that night, or like I think it was like 5 tickets away from being sold out.
That's awesome.
It was like a couple tickets away,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a very unexpected show. I knew I was booked for it. I knew I was the first opener, so I kind of thought I'd be opening up like an empty floor, and I just got really lucky with like a packed crowd.
That's awesome, though.
So yeah, I got like a bunch of larger shows, because Autograph was in Blau. They sold that show out.
Of course.
North Coast was great at the main stage, and then House of Blues was sold out or just about. So like, those were some good boosts I felt like I had, and like right around that time, why I'm reminiscing on that summer of 2019 was like right after that. I think my song got picked up in the Brain Food Spotify playlist,
Yep.
which it's still in somehow. I hope no one from Spotify hears this and takes
Dude.
it out. But
Which track is that again? Embrace, right?
yeah, Embrace.
I don't have to tell you that.
intro track.
You realize it's funny because the first question I asked you when I interviewed you last was, "Have any of your tracks hit 1 million plays?" And
Yeah.
you go collectively, yeah,
Yeah,
but not one track.
nothing had hit
And
it,
now
yeah.
we're sitting at like 3.8 million on Embrace.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been really wild. I feel very, very lucky that happened, because I know a lot of people pitch to the Spotify editors and go through all these different ways of trying to get picked
Oh
up
my
for
gosh,
that.
yeah.
And it's a crapshoot to try to get in that. So
True.
I feel lucky for that, and it's like 3.79 million or something like that.
Dude,
right
that
now.
is
So,
incredible.
yeah, that one has done really well, and then with that doing so well, it's helped like my whole back catalog really bump up in numbers right now. So
That's awesome.
that was like the beginning of a lot of that stuff that summer, and that was
Mhm.
like a really nice time. I felt like it was just like the beginning of a lot of things that have like come to fruition for me right now.
Exactly, man. You had so much momentum.
But again, very lucky. I think a lot of that has, a lot of those things are there's no rhyme or reason for that. It just like worked out really, really nicely. So.
Well, I think good music always finds a way, and we can ride that coattail. How about that?
You. Yeah, I'll go with that.
I'm here to toot your horn, by the way, again.
Hey, thanks, man.
Love it, though, man. And then, so we go into 2020. Your first release, Second Thoughts with Becca Kruger.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say your last name right?
Yep, yeah.
Now, this one, when I look back at everything else you'd released before, right, this is a very mature sound. Great energy, not to mention some awesome vocals, incredible songwriting. How did this one come together with Becca? Because I know, just knowing how production works, especially for someone of your level, makes songs sometimes 6 months to a year before they actually release them.
Yeah.
When did this one come together?
This is probably a bad example. Not fast.
Yeah.
That song originally was a remix for a different song.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
that's how that I built. So before Nick Bush and I started working together, my manager, he was...
Shout out Nick, he's the man.
Yeah, he is the man. He was throwing me some opportunities every now and then and be like, you want to try remixing this? And
Yeah,
you wanna
sure.
Try? So he gave me a folder of songs to try remixing, and he was like, remix a song, and then we'll like get it mastered, and then send it to the guy, the manager of the artist, and then hopefully it will go official. And I was like, all right, sick. And I did this remix. I thought it sounded really well. And or sounded really good, and they denied it. So I just put it up on SoundCloud for free. Then later, like 2020 or 2019, I guess, I like pulled that down, and I was like, this song, like, I want it to be on Spotify and like actually get some like.
Because it's great.
Yeah, I always liked it, and thank you. But I always liked that song. I just felt like it had like good energy, and I just felt like it's kind of like a sin for this to just sit on SoundCloud, because I know so many people don't use SoundCloud. Like, we should put it on Spotify and Apple Music where I can actually allow people to listen to it.
Absolutely.
So I took it back, stripped the vocals, and redid a lot of the song, and like I had worked on it probably a year and a half prior to that. So I was like, all right, I'll fix all this stuff that was like dirty and muddy and stuff. So I pretty much redid the whole song, but it was the skeleton and structure were essentially there.
Okay.
And then I just made it like, I added some new tweaks to it that I had picked up along the way since I'd first started it.
There you go.
And yeah, that was about it.
So you got that opportunity to actually go back, which is what virtually no producer is able to do, what virtually every producer wants to do.
Yeah, and I can name like 3 of my tracks off the top of my head right now that I would love to do that for. There are 3 of my tracks. One of them, I'm just not even going to say it. So I don't want to ruin it for people. But like one of my tracks is at 500,000 plays. Oh. And I think it's like some of my muddiest, dirtiest work. It's catchy. It's like light and catchy and stuff. But like production wise, it's terrible. Like I was listening to it the other day, and I was like, what was I thinking? Like,
you're always going to be your harshest critic, though.
Yeah, but there's like a threshold of like, okay, come on. That is like unacceptable. Like, so I mean, I would love to. But long story. Again, to have that opportunity to pull something back. Yeah. And then like rework it and like, okay, I have a good idea here. How do I clean this up and like really sharpen this? And of course, there's still things I'd change about that song today.
Yeah, of course.
The newer, like the Becca version, but we pitched it to Becca, and she like first or second take laid like really good.
Oh, that's the best.
And it was just golden. I barely had to do anything to those. I just like processed them a little bit and put some effects on them, and we were like good to go. And then shipped that out, pitched it to Lowly. That was my first time pitching to Lowly Palace, who does like Chill Nation and Trap Nation and all that. Yeah. And that kind of started that train. So
there you go.
That was a good start to 2020. Also, I think I was very fortunate to like have a good beginning of 2020 with some big shows, and then the first like release that I did after all of that was a label release with Lowly, and I'd wanted to release with Lowly for a while, so that worked out very well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I guess that's why I'm kind of jaded in like a positive way of like, 2020 wasn't that bad, because I had like a lot of like good things behind the scenes happening. So
well, that's huge though, man.
So yeah,
celebrate the wins, big and small.
Yeah, right.
I love that track.
Thank you, man.
For the record.
Thank you.
So you followed up with another beautiful track to really kick off the summer, Desires. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really like this one. The composition is pretty incredible. I mean, you got some really unique chord progression, and I know how much you love your chords.
Yeah.
And layering your chords
Yeah.
and EQing your like. This guy is the king of chords.
Yeah, King of Chords.
That's
I'll
pretty
go with
cool.
that, yeah.
That's the whiskey. Maker's 47. Try some today.
King of Chords.
The king of chords.
I like that.
But this one really, like, you really showcased, I would say, again, like, your maturity, your growth as a production, like, aficionado. You know what I mean? But this vocal, where did this vocal come from?
Yeah,
Splice?
Probably not that exciting. Yeah, Splice. Splice
was good.
For anybody out there that doesn't know what Splice is, it's a big sound library that pretty much every producer subscribes to, and yeah, it's got a lot of cool little samples of like drums and claps and kicks and all that stuff, and then also vocals. There's some very talented vocalists that put up their vocals for free.
Yeah, absolutely. I say no shame in that shit, by the way.
Yeah, the thing about that is that you have free reign to do what you want with that vocal.
Yep.
And you're not collaborating with the person. I just pull this out of a library and I'm throwing it in my track, and I can chop it. I could pitch it up and make it sound totally different. I could use little pieces of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm not collaborating with the girl that's on the other side of that vocal.
Right.
She put that up for everybody to use.
Right.
Issue being, anyone can use that sample.
Yeah.
And, what is it? All I Want Is You, I think, is in that one.
Yep.
And anyone can have that in their song.
Right.
So it does take some originality out of your song, I would say, sometimes.
Certainly.
But that being said, I really like working with that because I just like that mentally, for me, that free reign of like, I can do what I want with this is really nice. So yeah, I found that on Splice. Not that exciting, unfortunately. I wish I could say I found that on like some cool like underground YouTube channel and ripped it or something and like put it into my song, but
yeah,
it's just a good Splice.
That's okay.
sample.
You made it work though.
Yeah.
And you did make it unique.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that before, and there are definitely some Splice songs or some Splice lyrics that I'll hear like in a release a year ago and then like yesterday, and I'm like, I know where you got that.
Yeah, there's plenty of them. I do think that a lot of times it's mainly producers that notice that stuff, or people that are like very involved.
Dude.
I don't think
we are the only people that notice that shit.
So that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because, that sample is really put in there, I feel like, to be like relatable. Mm-hmm. Like it's like a relatable like sound and texture out of her voice.
Yep.
Also, All I Want Is You. The reason I put that in there is because I felt like that could apply to like anything. You can be a person, a thing, a place. Like I thought that was like, this is so vague but it's not so vague that like you can't relate with it, but it's vague enough that it's relatable to like someone could feel like, all I want is you, like I want to go to the beach. Or all I want is you is like I want some significant other. Like
kick
it could
off
be
the
like
summer, like
anything,
I said.
Like,
yeah.
You know? So I like those like relatable lyrics, and I feel like that's what I got out of that. So
I love it, track. It's a great track, man. And this one, you did a great job too. I know how much you love your FX as well.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, everything about this song, composition-wise, is really, really strong.
Thank you.
So I want to acknowledge you for that one, because that one you did a great job. Now, late July, you really brought your A game here with Reflections.
Yeah.
With Jenni Potts.
Yeah.
So something that I've noticed with your music, James, and with a lot of producers, but particularly you have this archetype that you follow, sort of your pillars of your music. Like, I know it's in a line track, but it's different. You know what I mean? Like, sure, this one kind of has some second thought structure, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it is not the same song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely different.
So, like I said, I hear the archetype there, but there's a different feel, so many different textures, lots of organic sounds in this one I noticed as well.
Yep.
What are some of those sounds you were using? How are you sampling them? How did you think about that track compared to other ones?
That track, so Second Thoughts and Desires were a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more housey.
Yeah, true.
Not like traditional 125 or 126 or 120 house music.
Yeah.
But like Four on the Floor.
Yep.
Around 116, like mid-tempo house.
Yep.
And Reflections, I still wanted to take that Four on the Floor, but I was like, I want to slow it down and do like a chilled out like house beat.
Yes, you did.
There is some of that, but there's not that much of it out there, I felt like. And I like being from Chicago, like both of us, like we love house music.
We like to move on the dance floor.
Yeah. And who doesn't love that, like a 4 on the floor beat? Like,
God.
You know, that just attracts.
It's like rock and
attracts
roll,
a crowd,
yeah.
You know,
Of course.
That's why like house stages don't necessarily at a festival have to have like visuals or lights with them. People just like generate to that.
Yeah.
That like.
That's so true.
So, I wrote that song on an airplane on my way to Denver last year, right? Again, also before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Or at least like the structure of it for the most part, with that idea in mind of like a slower house beat. And I just had like some of those marimba like plucks that I have at the beginning of the song.
There were like some birds and shit in this one.
Yep, and then I got a lot of cool like weird Foley textures.
Yeah.
Also from Splice and from other spots on the internet. And it's like, I just think it's cool. Again, going back to like the relatable feeling in music of like this, like it's cool to strike a chord. Excuse the pun. It's cool to strike a chord with someone when it's like, this feels familiar, or it resonates with you in some way. Like, you don't necessarily have to put a word to it, but if you have like a feeling like, this reminds me of a feeling I felt when I was somewhere. Like if some of those little Foley textures, like birds or like wind chimes or something like that. I mean, some of those like, to me, nostalgic textures.
Absolutely.
In a song can like.
Summer in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Those type
Summer in the Midwest.
Yeah, there you go.
Summer anywhere.
Summer anywhere, baby.
I think adding that stuff can be like, sometimes for me can make or break a track of like, wow, like there are tracks that I've listened to because there's a really cool little piece in the last like 15 seconds, and I just like, wow, I love that part, so I'm gonna listen to the whole track again until I get to that part and just like love that last part, and then I'll run it back. Like, so I just felt like it was cool. I know, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember in the last interview I talked about Bonobo a lot.
Yep. Your older brother loved him.
He did, and Bonobo uses all these weird textures and like kind of things like blowing in the wind, and like it just like makes you think of something, and that can be different for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So I felt like that was a cool idea to kind of start integrating to my music. So.
Very visceral, Bonobo's music, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I certainly hear a lot of like elements of that sort of authenticity and just the organic feel of music.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think his stuff's probably a little bit more moody than mine. Probably a little darker, but I just love like those ideas that he's got, and he also pulls in a lot of like house ideas too. So I'm a big fan of that.
You think he's still one of your biggest influences?
Yeah, I would say so. I spent like all day Sunday listening to him actually, but I feel like people who I'm really influenced by right now are people that are like really small. Some of them are smaller than me, but they're like huge influences on me right now.
That's awesome.
And not to say I'm like really big or something, but like
sure.
Artists that are smaller than me are like, whoa, that song, like there's a group right now called Wake the Wild, and they've released with Lowly a couple times too. I don't know how I found them on my Spotify when I was driving, and I was like, wow, that song is sick. So I just like kept replaying it and saved it without even looking at who it was. When I put out a song on Lowly, they put one out, and then I really liked that new song that they put out.
Yeah.
So I like followed them and went through some of their music, and that first song that I found on my drive was theirs. And then so now I just have been running them back all the time, and they're like, you know, they have less monthly listeners and followers and stuff than me, but I think they're a 3-person like kind of band mixed with electronic, and I love that. I love like what they're doing right now. So I think it just depends on like who's making what right now, you know?
Yeah.
Anyone can be like incredibly influential if they're making like something crazy.
Gosh, and sometimes the most talented musicians aren't even in music sometimes, or they're so small and they just do it for the love.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's awesome you discovered them. Okay, so...
That I did.
Yes, absolutely. Now, we go from Reflections, and then you pitched a fastball to me, and I hit it in left field. And you fucking caught it, because we had some left field come here with it. It goes in waves, bro. This was like, when it came out, I was like, oh, sweet. Like, this has got to be that perfect.
Not
like
what you thought.
Exactly, because you've collabed with Inzo and Blookah.
Yep.
Have you made a track before this with both of them?
Yeah, but Inzo and Blookah and I have made a lot of tracks together.
But released, I guess.
Never released any of the others yet.
Okay.
But that was the first one that we decided to put out.
Yeah. Because it's like, I mean, the coolest part to me is knowing you three like as producers.
Yeah.
It's so special when you hear a collaboration track, knowing people's styles.
Yeah.
And hearing the little bits and pieces that, at least I think, from my chair, like what you did, what Mike might have done, what Blookah might have done.
Yeah.
And this track is so fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's
thank
special.
You, by the way, thank you.
Like,
I
because
like
we
that
get
track
sounds
a
of
lot.
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What was sort of your involvement? How did this one come together? Like, where was the aligned spice?
Mm-hmm.
What was the process like for you guys? Because I know you're all good friends.
Yeah. That track came out of a production session at Inzo's house, and it was like the end of the weekend, and we had a bunch of other things that we had been working on that would be much more like what you would expect us to make, the three of us.
Yeah.
It's a lot more upbeat, a lot more up tempo, has like clear distinctions of like that's Inzo, that's Blookah, and that's a line.
Yes.
Then at the end of the weekend, like late Saturday, like I think we started that track like, I don't know, early hours of the morning, I think, and we were like, let's just make something like super chill.
Yeah.
Like a Zen kind of song.
Yes. It's very zen-y.
And that's how it started. We just started playing with some weird, like, I remember we had like some weird sample that we pulled off Splice, and we each were taking turns like fucking around with it.
Nice.
And then we just started getting this weird beat. Blookah has some like amazing like synth samples in there. I like took turns taking the things that Blookah played on his synth and chopping them up and rearranging them. So there's like very particular spots in the song where I hear Blookah's thing, but I know that was like what I arranged. Where your question was, where is like the aligned piece of that?
Yeah. I wanted to hear where they were coming from too.
Yeah, I think we all just wanted we were like tired of hearing like a banging bass drum or a kick drum, and banging bass in your ear all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we were like, let's do something really relaxed and like something really different. I think it's like one of the most unique things I've been part of.
It's so cool, man.
I had fun. I mean, being with three people in a studio when you just take turns like that, or you're like, someone's driving and you're like, wait, hold on, I hear this. Like, just make those changes really quick. Like, the ideas just go so fast because if you're over their shoulder telling them what to do or they're doing it to you, it might trigger something for you or for them.
Absolutely.
So it's just a fast process, like with the three of us, and we are also really good friends, so it works out really well. It's like
you had a good
really
time
fun.
with this track then.
Yeah. So late night session turned into something cool, and then we just kept working on it back and forth. Went back to Inzo's a couple more times, and at that point we had kind of the structure of it there, so we were like, all right, let's do it. So,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, pitched it to Sesquan, which is the sub-label of Wakan, which is Liquid Strangers label, and put it out with them.
So sick.
So yeah, thanks.
It's a great track, special track.
Yeah, it's fun.
I look forward to hearing that one live on a proper sound system.
Yeah,
because it's not bass
like,
in your face, but
it's got some bass in it. I like that it's slowed down. I like the percussion in it.
Yes,
a lot.
It's got some good breaks in there, dude.
And like, those breaks and samples and like the slowdowns and stuff that happen. I'm just a big fan of all that. So turned out nicely.
It's awesome. And one thing I asked you about before we got on air is like, it's a lot different, like you said, to work with just one other producer in the studio. But when you get three people in a studio, it can be make or break. But it sounds like you all turned into one brain. Yeah.
I think all of our styles are like pretty different, but not so far off that we can't find this like middle ground that we can all move forward on.
Right.
So, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of times where like any of us three add something and then the other two are like, and like there's a lot of those.
So you know what? Maybe three people is good because two people can veto, and then there's a tiebreaker.
Yeah, and I've been vetoed. I have vetoed. Like it's like the regular ebb and flow of
that is so funny.
Work session, and it's working with the two of them. just real quickly, has made me like a way better producer. Like I have noticed like massive changes in my production, like just since. I mean, we've been working together for a while now. It's been like probably over a year where we've been doing these sessions periodically for like a weekend at a time.
Yeah.
But just everyone brings something really different to the table, and I've learned a lot from them. So
That's awesome.
It's helped a lot too.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Those are talented guys too.
Yeah,
Shout out to Inzo and Blookah.
Yeah, they both definitely are very talented.
They are. Okay, so most recent release. When I'm With You.
When I'm With You, yeah.
Do I have to remind you? You looked at you.
I was thinking about...
you blanked out there for a second.
I was thinking about the new one that's coming out.
That's true. We do have some exciting things to talk about, but I do want to talk about this one,
I'm distracted with, like, the other stuff that's upcoming.
You got a lot of exciting stuff.
When I'm With You
with
came
Martina
out
Lynn.
This fall. Yeah, Martina Lynn. Yeah. Basically... so that also came about in a weird way. That was supposed to be a collab between me and another artist who I'm not going to say because we're still going to probably collab at some point.
Okay.
But he makes a very similar style to me, this guy. And I was like, we just like, talk on this Discord server all the time. And I was like, we should collab. Like your sound and my sound are like right in the same path.
That's awesome.
So we were going to do that. I made this for him, the idea at least, sent it over to him, and then started making the drop, and it was taking a different turn, and I was like, I feel like this isn't the right move for us.
That happens.
So then I was building it out more. My friend manages Martina Lynn, and she's been like she's working with some other artists, but she's been trying to put out more like of her music and be featured on stuff. So I pitched it over to them. She started singing on it, and another quick one like Becca, a couple takes, and then we were good to go. So
yeah, I mean, it's honestly, that's released. It's my favorite Align track.
Thank you.
I think so.
That.
I think that's actually cool that you told the story in that way too, because it's almost like for you when you make your music, I know you put yourself sort of in a mental space where like, where could this be played? How am I feeling right now?
Yeah.
But you actually put yourself in the mind of another producer. How can you work with this?
Yeah, definitely.
Which is a little bit different for you.
Very. And I also was telling you like I bought a guitar and I've been like incorporating those samples. I was playing with this like really spaced out guitar and then like had like this weird soundscape going and then started writing chords off of that one long soundscape.
Right.
And that's kind of like where that whole thing originated. But yeah, it was originally for him, and then ended up just lending itself better to vocals, and then so she sang over it and it turned out really well. It's
dope, man. It's got incredible energy, layering, and again, memorable vocals.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and that's another thing. I have laughed about this with some of my friends. I never give input on vocals of like what they should sing about because I don't feel that I'm not a lyricist, so I'm not here to tell a story. But she and plenty of other singers, and this is not a knock on singers at all by any means. This is just an observation of a lot of the people that have sang on my stuff, and a couple other songs coming out are similar. Yeah, are all very like relationship-y and like people like kind of longing for somebody, which is a very relatable thing. Back to the relatable, absolutely, relatable aspect of things. And I'm not knocking it for any reason, but like one time someone was like, "Are you writing these lyrics?" Like, I was like, "No, I just like give the instrumental over usually, and they like write to that." But
are you okay, James?
Yeah, it was like that. I was like, I'm not writing these, but I do. I would of course like ask them to tweak it if I felt that I wanted to tweak the story. But I usually look at this as like the singer's story to tell, and I'm providing like this atmosphere or like rhythm for them to do it over. So Martina, I thought, did a really good job.
Absolutely.
She's really, really young. I think she'll probably be very successful. She got a ton of TikTok followers. She's like got like 500,000 TikTok followers.
Really?
Yeah.
Can she put that song up for you?
Trying to, she posted it on TikTok and stuff, and she's starting to build up her Spotify and YouTube and stuff. But she's like 18.
Are we too old for TikTok? No, we're not.
I go on it like all the time. So
Oh, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm watching it.
I posted a couple videos. They didn't do so well.
You know what my
So
TikTok
maybe
consists
we are
of?
too old for it.
I've somehow made it onto the, well, not surprising, the Golden Retriever TikTok.
Okay.
Love
yeah,
Golden Retrievers. Cheese TikTok, I think it's due to my girlfriend.
Okay.
So it's a pretty good life so far, obviously, Golden Retrievers and TikTok.
Yep.
But it's so addictive.
It is.
It's
just the infinite instant scroll.
And it's a double-edged sword because it's given people the ability to create that don't have like the means, sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have seen.
Like, there's so many funny people in the world, man, and you just don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And those people are getting their voices heard, and those people are having.
I mean, there's stuff I've like never thought about that I've seen on TikTok of like, wow, that's really funny. I never even thought about like.
Yeah,
posting a
or
video
it's something
like
that's
that.
so
Like,
incredibly relatable to your life, and you send it to your friends, and you're like, "That's you, motherfucker."
Every time I'm on TikTok, I'm DMing stuff to my friends.
if you're
like,
text-
look at this shit, like.
Dude, I literally, when it comes down to it, James, like,
always do
I
that.
always compare, like, music nowadays.
Yeah.
I think you can kind of divide it into a few separate categories, but I divide it as something that I heart on my Spotify and I save.
Yeah.
Something that I heart and I add to a playlist. Something that I heart, add to a playlist, and text to a friend.
Yeah.
And if I'm texting it to a friend, that means that there's something that immediately connects with me.
Yeah.
And I believe in the world we live in, an oversaturated market in so many different ways, and overstimulation, right? If people trust when something comes to them through their inner circle,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
like, oh,
It's got to be good if this person.
if it was targeted to me on Instagram, like, I don't believe that shit. They were listening to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
YouTube ad, whatever.
But I
it
feel
might
like
be.
if they get it from their friend, they're like, oh, this has to be. They thought I would like this, so I'm definitely gonna give it a listen.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes, like in repetition, it's kind of how you have to remember someone's name. Like, you know, we have day jobs. It's tough to remember everybody's name.
Oh yeah.
But when you see their name on email or through text or whatever it might be, there's sort of that recognition, and then it comes down with that. And I think that's what I'm kind of realizing or trying to like teach myself. What sort of content or music can I make or anything that I put out are people going to want to share?
Yeah. Yeah.
Text their friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know one that I really like that you did? Just a sidebar.
Go
real
ahead.
Fast. The one with John Curley and
The panel?
the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Love that one. So informative.
God.
I feel like I learned.
Such bad timing for how to throw an
know.
event.
Throw an event. Dude, you know what?
2 weeks later,
When
yeah.
I listened to that was like beginning of quarantine when I was like doing at-home workouts.
Yeah.
But I like listened to that and I was like, this is a great fucking podcast. Like,
I know, man.
I think I sent that to a few people too. So
There we go.
But
I appreciate
case in
that.
point of like, you know, you want to make something that's like sent around.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I texted that to a few friends that I was like, this is a good listen of like.
I'm definitely going to bring that back, and it's funny you brought that up because I was going to involve
Also, I
you
love
in
John
one.
Curley. John Curley's a man.
Shout out John Curley. Shout out Paradigm Events. But that's I miss that a lot.
Yeah.
And that is what I try and think about. I try and think about content that I would want to see so that I have fun making it.
Sure.
And I also try and think about like, is this make an impact on someone positively?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you learn something from this? Is it going to make you smile?
Yeah. I definitely listen to podcasts to come out with something. I listen to.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of my news on podcasts. I'm not going to say which news source I go to because.
Don't you dare get
Everything
political
is, like,
on
so
Sherman the
charged
Booth.
now. I don't want to make anybody mad, one side or the other.
We're neutral here.
Yeah,
This is Chicago.
I do consider myself very, just politically speaking, very.
So do
neutral,
I.
But,
Yeah, so do I.
I listen to How I Built This, which is all.
Oh,
about,
I've heard good things
entrepreneurs.
about that.
I've gone down such a rabbit hole of that, and I just like if I'm gonna listen to news or listen to a podcast or something. First of all, I don't want like a bunch of bullshit. Like I don't want to listen to some like crazy opinion or like some arguing or something like that. I just don't fuck with that. Like if someone's got some basic news where they're gonna give you an equal opinion of both sides, I'd prefer to listen to that instead of like some crazy like. We think this is happening. Like I don't. So it has to be worth your time for a podcast. But I also for like, if I'm listening to it, I also would like to take something away from it. Of like this is an actual like fact of like something I learned. So going to like How I Built This, it's like these guys that built Chipotle and Tom's and all these crazy companies.
Yeah.
Of like, look at how they got here, and that's like how it actually happened. That stuff is like you like come away learning something from that because like, it's cool. I feel like
I love that shit.
To take your ear, like to actually put it in your ears and listen for a while. It's got to be worth really worth your time and everything. You got to come away with something.
Absolutely.
So,
There are a lot of like psychological studies about listening to podcasts. It kind of makes you feel like you're in the room with them almost, and you feel more invested in the conversation.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you read a book, or at least when I try and read a book.
Yeah.
I like read the page and I'm like thinking about other things and I'm like, what the fuck did I just read? I gotta read this page again.
Yeah.
But with podcasts, I feel like I'm there in the conversation.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. I love just hearing what happened and how it happened, and I like how brief podcasts can be. Of course, it's like an hour at times, but they like segmented the right way where it's like I'm just getting what I need here, and usually that's why I'm going to a podcast. Is like I don't want the 5-hour version, or I don't want like all the fluff to something. I would just like to know what I should know and what's relevant. So
God, that reminds me of Spark Notes. Remember Spark Notes?
Oh yeah, I lived off.
That's how I got through middle school, I think.
That's how I got through a lot of school.
Thank God we had the internet, bro.
I was not a good student.
Me neither. That's why we're in music and we have. That's why we have a sales-based job.
Dude, yeah.
We were better at talking.
Yeah, music was also why I did poorly in college, second half of college. But I was the big Spark Noter,
but mom and dad are so proud of us.
Yeah,
look at us,
and I'm fine with that.
Hey, cheers to that, my man.
Cheers.
Give me some. We really are nice guys.
We swear.
Okay, but one of the main reasons we're here today, right now, when this episode is airing, you have a song coming out.
Yes.
Today, bro.
Yep.
On the Edge.
Yep.
You sent me this one. I don't even know how to describe it. It's awesome.
That's what I want. Yeah.
Why self-release?
Yeah.
How long has this one been ready to go?
Yeah.
And what's the story behind it?
Okay.
I know, and you have self-released a lot, but I'm curious.
I have self-released a lot. Okay. So I'll start with how this came about. It's no secret that most people are like slowly working towards building an album.
Right.
I'm building towards an album, so secret's out if it was one. It's not that crazy. It's probably gonna be like 5 years, but it takes a long time to gather that amount of music. So like,
and you're a storyteller too.
Right. So and it has to be right. I can't put out like 12 moderate songs of like it's okay. They're all okay. None of them were a hit. Like
yeah.
So I started writing this as like an idea of like this could be. I wrote some chords and I just put like a beat to it, and I liked the like again 4 on the floor, back to the Chicago house thing.
Yep.
Also mid tempo. This one's like actually slower than mid tempo. It's like 95 BPM, so it's slow. And I like put those chords together, and it felt like something you could like walk to, like you could like stride to. Like it's not like a running song, it's not a sleeping song, but it's like you could like walk in the street to this thing.
Yes.
And
when you said it to me, I was.
Yeah.
And I will hop in my step,
there
and there was slush and snow on the ground. So good work there.
Yeah, slush and snow. So that's like kind of how it started, and I was just kind of tinkering with it of like this will be an album idea. This could be like a 5th song on the album kind of thing. Like it could sit in the middle somewhere. It's worthy of that. Not the number 1 or like closing song of the album, but could sit in the middle.
Right.
Kept working on it. And I don't know if we're going to get to this, but I have an EP coming out soon too. And I wanted to squeeze one more single in. And we just decided like, let's pump one out real quick.
Yeah.
And like, I had this idea going, and then I was just one night kind of sitting there, resampling things and like running chords through certain plugins, and then printing that to audio in the in Ableton, and then putting more effects on that and making that, trying to see if I can like make that the lead synth. I would like keep adding something else to it and like going deeper and deeper and deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if this is the main synth? Like that would be a weird sound.
Just kept getting better and better and better.
So then I just kept playing with it. I've been listening to a lot of Flume lately too. And Flume's got so many crazy weird sounds, and like just his like bluntness of like being experimental was just something I was like, let's give it a shot. Like I think a lot of my stuff is pretty like safe music to put out. I don't like,
it's fair to say,
have like crazy electronic music. So I was like, let's try something a little bit different. So this, for me, I felt like, and some people will say it's not different at all, it sounds just like you. I felt like at least production style was a lot different. So this came about of me just like honestly experimenting, taking something I thought was just going to be a part of an album, and then realizing I like this. I'm like, I think this is a cool way to try and see if other people do too, but I like it because I discovered something new in the studio that I hadn't been normally doing, so I want to put it out as a single. And then we were like, let's do it. Let's just ship it. I got Zach Davis does all my artwork. He made a cool, like, very fitting cover for it, I felt. And, we just packaged it up. And
you excited about this one, then?
Yeah, I am. Definitely. I'm excited because I don't know what's going to happen with this. Like, I don't know if people are going to like it or not like it. But I'm excited because I like it, and it'll either verify something or show me that I have something that I can refine, because I'm not going to just walk away from like new sounds that I found. Yeah. But I know that I can then, okay, maybe that part didn't work, but there's something in there that I can salvage and bring into one of my next tracks. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that was a perfect description, and it stuck out to me right away. And yeah, like I said, it has the archetype of a line.
Yeah.
You know, we got the king of chords here and there. But it is definitely different for you. Yeah. And I really, really like it, man.
Yeah, thank you.
This is gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be a variation of your incredible catalog.
Thank you.
Something that you can come back to personally as well.
Yeah, and also it was different. It was new for me. This was the first full track I made in Ableton and am releasing. I've been prior to this producing all my music in Logic. Logic and Ableton are just different production softwares, and it's a very different way of like, it's like painting on a different canvas. It's like a whole different type of like, it's like painting on a black canvas versus a white canvas or something like that. Like it's the same thing. You're doing the same things. Yeah. It's just laid out differently. It feels different, and there's a lot of different. The workflow is totally different, you know. So for me, it was a lot of different like small accomplishments behind the scene for me, like personally.
Yeah, which is important.
But I also felt like it was like at the level that I was comfortable with for it to go out there. I could nitpick it for like 5 more weeks if I wanted to, but that thing had been done for like an hour before I submitted it to release to distribution.
No way.
You ask how long it had been done for. I was working on that thing until like I decided like this is done now, and I'm like packaging it with the artwork, and it's going to the stores to be like submitted for Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. So
oh my gosh.
Was not sitting on this one for 6 months. Did not get
everything about this track is unlike you personally then.
Yeah, it is. Which I think is like I think maybe why I'm excited about it is and maybe a little nervous about it, because I usually send my tracks to a lot of people and make sure I have a lot of legitimately good feedback. I send my songs to certain people where I know they're going to be like, I have a lot of people that'll be like, it's good, but it's not like, this could use more work. And I've had plenty of people say, to be honest, this is not your best song. And that's why I send it to them, because I don't want to just ship something out there and then I'm like, oh, fuck, it's got like...
Gotta get some ears on it.
Yeah, so this one I did a lot less of that, but I felt very confident in it, so I was like, I'm going to go out on a whim here, and I sent it to some people before I submitted it up, but I really only sent it out to a lot of people after it had already been submitted for Spotify and everything. So I like sent it out, and I was like, I hope people like it, because if they don't, it's just out. Like, it's going to come out, and that's it. So
awesome.
So, yeah, but it was like
good for you.
Yeah.
Going outside your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
Hell fucking yeah. Now, you mentioned an EP. Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah. 5 more tracks, just like Intertwine. It's going to be called Vista, and it's coming out with Lowly Palace, or just Lowly now, I guess. And yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff with them lately. I guess most of my last, or like the Becca Kruger song, When I'm With You, a couple others I've been doing with Lowly. So I have all of it signed to them. I'm going to release a couple singles off of that with them.
It's
and,
huge.
Yeah, I'm
For
very
those who don't
excited
know,
about that.
Lowly is an incredible
I
channel,
think-
medium.
Yeah.
I mean, their YouTube following is insane.
Yes, it is.
And YouTube's
Well, they have like
fucking
28 million between like 2 channels or something like
I
that,
mean-
or more. I don't know. They like Chill Nation itself has like 10 million. Trap Nation has even more, and Lowly handles those channels. So those guys have been so cool, and girls that work there too.
Are they United States based?
Yeah, a lot of them are in LA and New York. I think they maybe have some departments potentially in other areas.
Right.
But yeah, the guys directly that I've worked with there, and the girls that I've worked with there directly, have all been super, super, super cool and supportive, and very, very helpful, and happy to always support my tracks. And the Becca Kruger one was the first one I did with Lowly. So when I had this whole EP pretty much wrapped up, it just made sense to pitch to them. So, and they're about it. So here we go. But yeah, On the Edge was like our last final single push before getting the EP out there.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see this next chapter unravel for you.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm excited too.
Really, really exciting stuff for
Hopefully
you.
it doesn't just fizzle out.
No, come on now, James. I think it's going to be a good year for you,
Yeah, I'm
man.
hoping
And thinking
so.
about 2021, the building blocks, everything you did in 2020, looking at the next couple of years. You were talking about an album. What can we expect from you? I mean, here's the thing. Let's give you another level here, because you've been verified on Instagram. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you're humble about that.
Yeah.
But it's deserved.
Thank you.
You're recognized as one of the biggest artists here in the Midwest, one of the biggest growing artists here in the United States. You've got a great sound. You're confident in what you're doing. Like, you've got a brand you're building, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I know you're a humble guy again, but, like, I know you have big plans.
Yeah.
What's in the back of that head that you can tell us about right now?
Right.
'Cause it's all happening. It's
Yeah,
all
I mean,
happening.
I do feel like we're on the brink of like some things that I've been hoping would happen for a while, and I'm happy to like be putting this EP out with the label and
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
Plans right now. I'll just talk about like creatively.
Yeah.
I want to try like some different things. That was part of what I was getting at with On the Edge. I want to just try some things that don't just straight up sound like the last 10 songs that I've put out.
Okay.
So I'm trying, and I am like currently doing it right now. I've been trying to blend some different styles. I was working with one of my buddies the other day. He makes folk music, and I'm figuring out how.
Let's go.
Yeah, he's got a Spotify profile too, David Probst, if anyone wants to listen to folk music.
Okay, dude.
And I'm trying to figure out like how can I integrate like something, and I know there is some stuff out there. It's not like I would be the first person charting this territory of like making like folk and electronic.
I mean,
as a blend.
Avicii, Wake Me Up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Would you say like
country
on
and-
one level that's kind of the idea of what you're going for? Maybe not that fast, but
yeah,
like that
or
fusion.
even like I guess now that you even said Avicii, that just like made me think of Maggie Rogers. Like
Yeah, okay.
she is like another mixing like dance music with and I guess I didn't even think about that the other day when I was working with David, but I am like actively trying to do some things that I've never done before, like blend that, and also like I'll like work with a rapper, I want to like start doing some things that I haven't done before,
Yes.
and like try some different styles of beats. So that's one, just like for me too, also because I get a lot of enjoyment out of like I could write the same song like I wrote with Becca Kruger a million times with different chords and a little bit of a different beat,
Right.
and it's just gonna sound exactly. I can write 55 of those and put them all out, and they're all
and they're
going
going to be great, but how much fun is that for you to a certain extent? Right?
Yeah, and like how much are people gonna be like, oh yeah, that's another song he made. It's not that. It's like sounding exactly like the last one. So
Yeah. Okay.
I want to try some different things like that. I have some good ideas in my mind of my live show. So my live show is scheduled for last May, and it's been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. It's going to be rescheduled for this upcoming October.
Okay, that's gonna go down.
Yes, I'm end of October.
Jesus, last interview I said I'd be front row.
Yeah, well, I hope you are this time.
I am.
I'll make sure you're there.
No, I'll be backstage.
There you go. Yeah.
I will be front row.
Backstage, I love that. But I have some things I've like never done that I'm very excited about trying. I'm building out this whole live set, and I'm like breaking up a lot of songs and like redoing a lot of old songs that are like very like just exactly what I was saying. Songs that don't hit that threshold of like that is too muddy or that's not good enough.
Yeah.
I'm redoing a lot of those specifically just for the live set. So I'll never re-release that, but if you come to the show, you can hear like a way amped up, cleaner, louder version of this song that sounds probably different than the recording on SoundCloud and Spotify and Apple Music sound.
Hell yes.
So I'm doing a lot of stuff like that and trying to break up like and make like VIP edits of the Jenni Potts song that you were talking about earlier. I have like a bass house edit of that I'm working on right now.
Let's go.
So I'm trying like a lot of different things like that to like, first of all, for me, just like explore different territories that I haven't gone into for music.
Dude, I'll probably shit my pants if I hear a bass out edit.
I'll show it to you later.
Fuck yes.
But yeah, so a lot of things like that are what I'm really interested in right now. The live show is really on my mind a lot.
That's awesome.
Along with some other like
You're missing
potential upcoming festivals pending COVID kind of going away. But
yeah,
those things are on my mind of like what's the next thing to like really get people's attention, because I think when COVID's over, everybody's going to be looking for an outlet and like something to do, and everyone that creates content is going to be just throwing content at people. So it's like, how can I differentiate myself right now? So yeah, I mean, building up the live set, getting ready to start talking to people about hopefully doing tours, things like that. Like when this stuff spins back up, that's where my head's at.
You're gonna be ready to go.
Planning on it. So we'll see what happens. I hope I am ready, but
You will be ready.
yeah.
You still a good DJ?
I don't know.
We're gonna find
the
out.
last time
because we're doing a live stream together. Sherm back to back. I'm working on my promotion skills. How does it sound?
Promo it, dude.
February 27th. Sherm back to back live on Rooftop Drops.
Rooftop Drops.
We're gonna see. He's a very good DJ. Can I tell a quick story about when we got too drunk on a weeknight and I got a noise complaint?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, we got too drunk on a weeknight and I got a noise complaint.
Wednesday night or something?
It was a Wednesday night. We got some drinks over here at the Virgin Hotel, Cerise Rooftop. Came back, DJ'd, had the microphone out, and we were pretending like it was a Concord show. And we were going back to back.
Oh, yeah.
We told...
yelling at the non-existent crowd.
Yep, said put your fucking hands up.
Yeah.
Well, you know who put their hands up and called the front desk?
Yeah.
My neighbors.
We put our hands up.
We put our hands up.
When security came to the door.
No, it was so loud they knocked on the door. Then I got a call. And I was like, yeah.
I think your phone was ringing first. And then they started knocking on the door after we were like DJing so loud.
Well, I was in the middle of a transition, so they need to be a little more respectful.
There's nothing you can do about that. That's just, it is what it is.
I'm proud of it.
We still had fun.
We had a great night.
Yeah. Sometimes it just plays out that way. And the end of your night, and you just gotta accept the loss and walk out.
Oh man!
I'm excited for the back to back. That'll be fun.
That's gonna be a great time.
I haven't DJ'd in a long time, but I think I still got some of my chops.
I don't get nervous for live streams, but I'm like I doubt myself because I'm like, who's watching?
It's definitely a weirder feeling. Like that live stream we did together at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, the Hang at Home Fest.
Yeah,
that was really fun actually.
Yeah, that was super cool.
Because that was the beginning of the live streams.
Yeah, and also we did that for anyone who's watched a lot of live streams. A lot of them are pre-recorded, and I don't think most people know that. And I think a lot of people are finding that out now because a lot of artists will post a picture or like a quick video of their live stream, and then the live stream airs. And now I've been reading the comments, and all these people by now have realized it. But I don't think a lot of people knew that at first. And we were like, that was the first live stream that I was even aware of happening.
Totally.
And we literally did it live.
Nobody knew what we were doing, really. We were like, all right,
like-
we all got to share one Twitch channel.
Yeah.
You log out, I'll log in.
I can't believe we did that. Like
We made it
literally
work.
ran it like a show, and then I realized after the fact, like, oh, of course they all record it because if
So
anything
much-
went wrong, that would have been a shit show. And somehow we had like 8 people DJ,
Dude.
and it worked out. But that was super fun, and I was like just as nervous for that as I was before a lot of the shows that I've played
I was
before.
nervous, too.
I was like really nervous.
I
And
was like,
it was you, then Alex Kislov, then me.
yep.
And I was like, when it was you, I was watching and I was like, fuck, like.
I went
fucking
so
nervous.
hard,
Yeah,
dude.
you did. And I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure I like changed up my set a little bit after watching yours because I was like, I gotta throw more like house music now. Like, I cannot chill this thing out.
I like started with a song and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna feel it out because I was like, all right, maybe I'll plan it, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
freelance it,
Yeah.
free ball it,
Freelance it.
I freelanced it, and it really was fun.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I think I always thought that one was really cool because we actually played it like a live, like that was like you literally play a live show. Like
Yes,
one person's playing and the next person cycles on, and like
I totally agree.
we were all like there at that second actually doing that from our apartments, and that was like a bunch of there's like hundreds of people.
We got thousands of dollars donated to frontline
Yeah,
healthcare workers,
yeah,
and
that's
I remember
right. It was
I had my
that's
buddy
right.
with me, and he was like, hey, this person said this, and I'd be like, shout out to them, thanks for
Yeah.
donating. That was fun.
Yeah, I remember donating to that thing. Yeah, that was really cool. I got that through a friend from college, and she's friends with one of the Indiana guys who was setting that up, and I liked her post, and she was like, do you want to play on this? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then they just threw me in at the end, and I
Yeah.
was like, all right, well, that worked out nicely.
You're a
So
great addition.
That was really fun to do. But
Gosh, I
yeah.
know. And shout out to everybody who is watching live streams, doing live streams. You're keeping the community alive.
Yeah.
And you know what? When it comes down to it, like, we all miss the live shows, but the fact that we can all give each other the platform to do that
Yeah.
is really special.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got to keep it going somehow. So, if that kind of floats the boat for people, then let's go with it.
Fuck yeah.
So,
Well, I'm not surprised this was another fun interview.
I had a blast. Thank you for asking me all these nice questions and making me feel
I'm a
like
thoughtful guy, James.
like I'm a nice big artist.
You are a big artist. Big to me, man.
Hey, thanks, dude.
Well, make sure you guys go check out his new song, On the Edge. Keep an eye out for everything else coming up on Lowly. I mean, this guy's got his head on straight, and he's more motivated than ever, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds. So cheers to you, James.
Cheers to you, man.
Brother.
Excited for your future as well.
Hey,
This whole setup.
we're here.
Yeah.
We're enjoying it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, brother.
Cheers.